The week started with, and it was a very orchestrated week for the London bombings. Started with Live Aid. Yeah. Well, I think we might have a difference of opinion there. Just me. You know, I got great respect for what Bob Geldof did with Live Aid and all that stuff. But I do have a whiff of joining the club here, because Live 8 provided a cover and provided a almost heroic status for Tony Blair at the G8 summit, that he was pressing to help the people of Africa and the third world, the developing world, when he couldn't give a shit. He'd bomb them more than bloody help them. And I do see these famous people on stages, and good luck to them. But you know, I do find it rather symbolic when the African bands are sent out to Cornwall and just go over there. You're all right. We've sorted you out. We've had a few complaints, so you better have a place, because we are the centre of the show. And it was a way of bringing, almost diluting the protest. And maybe it's me, maybe I'm just a 60s guy who never kind of evolved, but I just find it, I find it a bit grotesque myself that rock singers are on first name terms and how are you with mass killers like George Bush and Tony Blair. It's just my view. I don't know what the X is, marks the spot. I mean, this is not one of the most effective photographs I've ever seen, I have to say. But the reason I've used it, because that was the feel of it. There was this coming together of those whose policies have destroyed and exploited Africa and other similar parts of the world, with those who are trying, they say, to help things. Well, they ain't going to help things by becoming part of the club. This sums it up. This is Catherine Bertini, Executive Director of the UN World Food Programme. We use food. Food is power. We use it to change behaviour. Some may call that bribery. We do not apologise. Empty bellies are much easier to manipulate. And we are being asked to believe that as a result of what was decided at the G8 summit, as a result of the protest, which was sod all, that this guy, Paul Wolfowitz, head of the World Bank, is going to have a transformation of personality and help people in these countries who have been mercilessly exploited for centuries. This is the man who was involved in a document that talked of developing biological weapons that can target specific genotypes. This may transform biological warfare from the realm of terror to a political useful tool. Come on, Bono, eh? Let's just have a look at this again, eh? And going on during this week, was all going on. You had the G8 summit, you had all the world leaders there, all in place for reaction to what was to come. Then we get the Olympics. We get the Olympics in 2012, the same week. And I'm not being wise after the event here. I said to my friends long before, when it was announced that London was going for the Olympics in 2012, I said, I betcha they get it. Because 2012 London, they had that ring to it, you know what I mean? I felt that, and so I wasn't surprised at all when they got it. And then, here's all the joy and everything. It's all kind of doing this to the collective mind, bang. Suddenly we have the London bombings of what was described as our 9/11. And it was, because that was a sodding lie as well. And so we had these bombs. Someone sent me this picture through my website. It's kind of interesting little pyramid joined together there. And we had the bus go off, and in the symbolism-obsessed Illuminati, you had this outright terror, bold and brilliant, on the side of the bus that was actually blown up, that was rerouted. One of only two, according to a London transport man who spoke to me, that was rerouted as a result of the bombings, and one of them had a bomb in it. And of course, there they are, just there to react to it and say, this is more terrorism. We as a world community must react to this. by taking away more freedoms and more stuff. And then you had this celebration afterwards of something to do with the military. What was it? The World War II and the veterans and stuff. True Brits and Nation Defiant, all fitted together perfectly. And all the pictures there, Prince Charles and all that stuff. And it was been blamed on 4 Islamic extremists. It's kind of funny that when you look at the background of so many of these people are Islamic extremists, they don't seem too extreme to me. And the background before they hit the papers, you know, they're described as decent people. And this is another lovely one. Make sure you get your identity cards to be found after the bombs go off. Oh, we didn't need to find them because they had all their things on them. Oh yeah, you didn't find that passport in New York, did you? There it is. I mean, it's child's play. This is Frank Gardner, BBC security correspondent. I do think it very strange that they were able to find these documents belonging to these bombers. Maybe they thought they were going to paradise, so it didn't really matter. But it allowed the police to trace where they came from very quickly. It was a strange thing to do. Yes, it was. I agree, Frank. And it's strange how Mohammed Atta did the same. Did you notice that? Left his bag. This is a Times of London report. Police had no need of DNA evidence to identify the suspected bombers, as the men were all carrying personal documents. It's as if they wanted their identities to be known, a police source said. No, they didn't, darling, but your bloody controllers did. One of the guys went for a Big Mac. Big Mac, please make it quick. We had ridiculously few surveillance pictures in a city surrounded by bloody surveillance cameras of these people. And then there are other things. The bombers brought round-trip train tickets and paid for long-term parking for 7 days. That makes sense. Why would they leave extra bombs, as someone asked, in their hire car for the police to find? Well, same reason they had all their papers on them. The 4 men looked, the police said, like happy hikers, laughing and joking. Well, maybe that's what they were. Maybe they weren't going to bomb people. Maybe someone else did it. They talked about the times of the trains that in the media that they were probably on. The times of the trains that were quoted were cancelled from Luton into London. And again, this is another common theme. They said one of the masterminds of the London bombings was this guy Aswat. Well, it turns out that he's connected to British intelligence, as this report in America revealed. And the Madrid bombings, the man accused of supplying the dynamite used in the Al-Qaeda train bombings in Madrid was in possession of the private telephone number of the head of Spain's Civil Guard bomb squad. If you look in this book, Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center disaster, there are many connections between